as you guys can see, we got our 3D print back. We had a couple changes made, and as you can see, the ethanol gauge is sitting here perfectly. The Cortex EBC is double side taped in, and right now it's not all the way in. So I had the base printed just a little bit longer, like 0.5 millimeter, so we can pop it in, but I don't want to pop it in just yet because I don't know how important the USB cable is going to be. Currently, this is my USB cable, obviously, but I just don't know how important it's going to be to need this when we're done. So it's not all the way in just yet, but with enough pressure, it'll pop right in. So I'm going to power it on so you guys see everything's all hooked up here and definitely working. So where we left off last night was that we were hitting about 15 psi on pump gas, and I didn't realize this, but most of the runs actually didn't even have our fans on for the dyno because I was just dialing in boost control. So today I'm going to let the car come up to temp, and we're going to see what it actually does when it's cool, or the intake air temps are cool rather, on 15 psi to see what we net. So okay, so we're done making that one run. This run is about 15 psi. It tapers off to 14.5. I do have closed loop set up though, but it actually hasn't done anything because it's too close to the target. So I think that's good to go. But in terms of the graph, let's talk about this for a second here. So peak power overall was only 10, which seems a little bit on the low side, but torque has jumped up quite a bit. But if you look at just the graph itself, the numbers may not seem like a lot, but the overall graph is different. You can see that we've got raises all along the entire RPM band. So just to show you guys, this is 6,500 here, and basically anything beyond 6,500 to 7,200, there's no real changes there. But overall, like I said, I think we're doing okay though. Power's a little bit lower than anticipated though, so that's kind of weird to me. But like I said, overall though, if you look at the overall gain between the blue and the red, it's vastly different. Reviewing over the data log, we actually don't have any knock either. So the data log itself looks pretty good. I have it actually closed at the moment, but if you look here at knock correction, it's 0. So we're not seeing any knock at all whatsoever. Right now, with this fuel duty cycle calculator, where we're at by redline is 55% duty cycle. So that means that we can still run 15 pounds of boost on E85, but we're starting to run out of steam. So I'm gonna call the owner now and see what he wants us to do in terms of our pump gas. Now, like I said, we could refine pump gas a little bit more, but if he's planning to primary run E85, I'm just gonna leave this one alone. But like I said, we're gonna make a phone call here, talk to him, and see what he wants us to do. All right, so I spoke to the customer. We're gonna leave this, we're gonna put a pin in it as far as 93 goes. He says that he basically only runs about E60 anyways, so he's not pushing that hard. Right now we're about 1/3 of a tank, maybe. So I'm gonna see if we can just top it off with E85 and try to get E60 out of it, and then we'll have to start. After that, we'll turn the boost back down, and we will basically just start tuning it for hopefully E60, and we'll start tuning, get the fuel stuff dialed in on E60, get the timing dialed in, all at the whatever wastegate pressure is at, and then we'll start turning up the boost again. Our dyno runs start at 2,500 RPMs, right? So 2,500, we go wide open throttle. And so just to give you an idea, we go wide open throttle and we're already 0 on the boost gauge, right at 2,500 RPMs, right? So by the time we reach 3,500 RPMs, we're already over 15 pounds of boost. So this is gonna make for a fun car. I'm going to say this now. This guy's probably going to fail if you drive this hard. So, which is good because we have boost by gear. We're gonna have boost by gear obviously set up here. So I mean, think about it, guys. From 2,500 RPMs going wide open throttle, by 3,000 RPMs, we're already at 160 kPa. So I went and got 5 gallons of ethanol. I put 2.5 gallons in, but it looks like it's gotten me above of where I wanted to be here. So I really was hoping to be like E30, but well, it is what it is. Now the cool thing is that if you can see that the Zaytronics is reading E50, and the Cortex is basically also E50 as well. So the Cortex, really, you can also, as you can see, we can also read ethanol content here too. You know, 1 or 2 points, probably not enough for me to be really too concerned about. Okay, so a few minutes in, you can see that we're basically at E36 or E37 here. So I think that's good enough. We'll go ahead and we'll start tuning on this. We're a hair over a half a tank here. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go ahead and set up our boost tables on E30 and E36. And what we'll do is we're gonna actually turn off the boost control altogether and dial in our wastegate only tune to make sure that the fueling is good. Okay, so just real quick, we are on wastegate duty pressure here, so it should net us about 11 to 12 psi roughly. We are adding 20% on the boost controller though, as far as wastegate duty cycle, because that's what yesterday that's what we tested and showed that it really didn't make any changes on the boost controller. Maybe 1 or 2 psi or whatever. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do our run on E37. Again, 12 pounds of boost. Let's see what happens. So on E30, E40 we'll say, power is basically identical and torque is a little bit lower. But here's the difference though. This run was at 15 psi. Okay, so as you guys can see, it comes up to boost really quickly here, as per usual. We didn't see any knock on this last run. Intake air temps are kind of spiking pretty hard though. 71 Celsius is what we saw, so I mean that's pretty damn hot. Yeah, 160 F there, so it's getting pretty hot. It is hot inside the shop. It's about in the high 90s Fahrenheit. Yeah, just to be expected. The power's about the same. Torque jumped up quite a bit though, about 6 foot-pounds of torque. So, and that again is without adding any type of timing. And you can see that even on the curve, it's pretty damn close to where it was before. So I have all these runs kind of saved on a notepad, so I know which one's which. I'm gonna go ahead and start deleting runs, but the temperature did spike pretty hard. So yeah, even the factory fan is running right now. I put in the rest of the ethanol and it's put us right at E50. As you can see, I've went ahead and put the interior back in as I was waiting for everything to mix. So ideally, I'd like to get the ethanol content a little bit higher than where it's at right now. That way we can actually really stress out the fuel system, you know, just to see how far we can really go to make sure that it's safe. When we last left off, I think we ended up at E50 or so, I think. I've added 3 more gallons of ethanol to it this morning. This is the first, so we're at a full tank now. So I haven't started it. This will be the first start of the day. So like I said, we ended up at E50. So starts up totally fine on E50. Again, it's not cold, and E50 cold doesn't really surprise me on a cold start that it fired right up. So there's no surprise there. I think everything's mixed up. So we have E60 now. So I'm gonna go ahead, I shut the car off. We're gonna make some changes here. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a run at, I think we have it set about 15 PSI. We're gonna see what that nets us in terms of fueling, because that's the thing here. So unfortunately on the NC, there's not much I can really do because the damn security dongle broke. So I have to get a replacement one. Which really sucks because those things are like 200 bucks and they're hard as hell to get, especially with this tariff situation going on. So I'm reaching around in a couple of networks to see if someone's got one. Hopefully someone's got one on hand so I can wrap it all up here. So I could turn up the boost to see how the fuel system is doing. But again, just none of that really feels that smart because we can only review data logs and we don't really know Well, I guess we would know looking at the data logs, but we would not be able to make any changes, and that's kind